I'm thinking about the situation where a lady in her 40s is experiencing high cortisol. Can you speak to specifically that kind of situation?
It's quite apparent, I think, when you're taking case history that may be what's going on. I usually begin with a morning 8 a.m. serum cortisol to get a sense. And then if that result is looking either too high or too low, based on like naturopathic ranges, then it may be indicated for them to go in for salivary cortisol testing and that 4-point testing, which kind of shows you the way that their cortisol picture is playing out. Because for the listener, cortisol has a pattern. It is supposed to be high in the morning. Like it's considered the stress hormone, but we want it to be highest in the morning, which helps you to like get going, start your day, have the energy to face it. But depending on the pathology, there can be people who have too high levels of cortisol in the morning or too low. And that's going to play out as a different symptomatic picture. And whether it's too high or too low, you then want to support them accordingly. With that 4-point test can show you if it's too high or too low, what is it doing after that? Does it stay high throughout the day, or is it too high and then it does follow the natural drop? Or is it too low in the morning, but then it kind of shunts up later on in the day when it's not supposed to be? So it can help you figure out what the cortisol is doing throughout the day if that, moment in time capture is representative of their entire, life. Because yes, when you take a salivary sample, it is one day. But we're presuming now that that's how your everyday is like. So presuming that's how your everyday is like, and your cortisol is doing different things throughout the day, it really helps us to know what it is that you need support with. So oftentimes what might be happening is someone who is going through perimenopause or menopause has too high of a cortisol level in the morning. So it is supposed to be highest in the morning, but it can be too high, which sort of shows an overactive stress response, which might be why you wake up in the morning feeling super wired. You're not able to feel the type of relaxation that you need throughout the day. The 4-point salivary test might show us from a very high level in the morning, what does the cortisol do next? Does it stay at that very high level or does it come down? If it's staying at that very high level, it's showing us a very overactive stress response, a body that's unable to come out of its fight flight response to feel any sense of regulation. Or it could be that there is this very high response in the morning and it does somewhat come down a little bit. Overall, though, my approach for that would be multifold. It would be understanding what kind of a stress constitution she has, because there are this class of herbs called adaptogens which help to modulate the stress response. But of the adaptogens, there can be relaxing types, there can be stimulating types. So depending on what her cortisol picture is doing, you want to provide the right herb for the right patient type. Also, dietary patterns, not just what she's eating, but when she's eating and how much, is very important. Support structure is super important. Does she have a safe place at home through family members, spouse, etc.? What is her work life looking like? How can we help her to create balance around all of that? Does she understand what her triggers are and what her specific stress responses are? Because accordingly, there's a whole toolbox of skills that she can be empowered to learn, whether it's breath work or certain types of exercise or certain types of mindfulness and meditation. So the combination of all of that, combined with perhaps, like clinical data through a cortisol test of some type, can really help us to come up with a treatment plan that specifically helps who she is as a person, what her biochemistry is, how her symptoms are manifesting.